welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm updating my reading journal. These are all the last BLs that I read during the month of September. And the first bed I'm making is for a BL manga I saw on Legend, actually, randomly enough. It's called Kiss Me Like You Did on That Day. And at first I wasn't going to make a spread about this, but I liked it so much that I was like, you know what, I want to talk about it, and also I want to remember that I read it. I feel like I've said this before, but sometimes it's not even that stories are bad, they're just a little bit forgettable, and it's a shame. But that's also kind of due to like the volume of what I read during the year. Like that's also why I'm not remembering things. But anyway, this manga is about these two guys who used to be friends during their senior year of high school. The main character is kind of like isolated a bit, like he's always kind of off to himself, and the male lead realizes that, and one day he goes to eat lunch with him. The main character kind of eats, like, I'm assuming sort of like on a rooftop or something like that at school, far away from everyone else, and he goes up there to eat with him, and he's like, mind if I sit with you? And the main character is like, well, yeah, actually I do. And then he's like, oh no, like, was that too rude? I was too blunt. But the male lead thinks it's so funny because of course, like, most people would be like, oh no, it's fine, even if they really didn't want to like share their lunchtime with someone else or didn't want someone else around them. He liked that the main character was so like blunt about it. And that's actually how they become friends. They start meeting together to eat lunch like that. And of course, them being friends turns into something else. But the way the manga starts is like, I wonder what we would have been like if we hadn't kissed that day. Like, those are the first lines of the manga. And so you find out that one day before graduation, or maybe it's the day of graduation, I can't even remember now. But one day in their senior year of high school, they kiss and the main character runs away. And they literally have not spoken to each other since then. And so there's a school reunion. I'm thinking 10 years, maybe like a 10-year school reunion. And they both show up there and they get to meet again. I really like the story. I can't really say it was like a second chance romance, but like sort of. I mean, the main character and the male lead were never like together before, so it's kind of hard to even say that. But it's a second chance in terms of like they got to meet again after all this time, and now they're spending time with each other again. And I just loved both of the characters so much. I think that's why I liked this manga so much. In general, I love a character, not necessarily like a black cat golden retriever dynamic, but I guess so. But just in general, I love when a character is kind of like isolated, kind of keeps themselves, and they're with someone who's like really outgoing, friendly, talkative. I just love that. But also the two of them had their flaws. Even the fact that they were kind of apart from each other was really both of their faults. And I like that they acknowledged that. I like that they acknowledged both of them have character flaws. To me, the main character was kind of a little bit more at fault just because he made it very hard for him to be contacted. But also the main character was the one that I felt was the most real because his personality was maybe kind of similar to mine. Not even kind of, definitely similar to mine. He has a real fear of both being rejected but also being close to others. So that's like why he never really had any friends. And for me, that's so real. That's so real because like the fear of someone not liking you is just as scary as the fear of someone knowing you, and then also everything that comes along with that. Like, being important to someone is a big deal. I can imagine that even though it's lonelier, like life is definitely easier not being important to anyone else. But yeah, they really had to learn to properly communicate. That was just causing so much strife in between them because they were not properly communicating their feelings. I just really liked the story. Also, the art was so cute. It kind of reminded me of like vintage manga or anime, like almost kind of like maybe like a 90s style, but like modernized. I really like the art. And also I forgot to look and see if the author has anything else that I would be interested in because I just thought that this was really well done. And also I will say, each chapter was so short. Like, it definitely felt shorter than a regular manga, which is so sad. Again, like, I hope that the author has more work that I'm interested in because I feel like they are a good storyteller. This was such a random read. It wasn't on my September TBR or anything like that, but I just happened to find it. And sometimes those stories that you randomly stumble upon are the best ones. And so if you like a second chance romance sort of story where the people are learning to properly communicate, then I feel like you would definitely also really like this one. The next spread I'm making, you probably already know, right? Like, just looking at the art, you already know. This spread is about the fallen lamb. I remember I first saw this on Twitter when either the artist or the author was like promoting it before the story was even released in Korea, and I was like, whoa, that art is so nice. It has this very specific kind of like painted style. It reminds me a bit of the artist Seal. If you know her, she has a YouTube channel. But I feel like I see that kind of painted style a lot with like maybe like Korean like novel covers. I feel like a lot of artists do art styles like that for covers. But anyway, I just knew I had to read it no matter what it was about. And so this is a short story. It's only 9 chapters, maybe. And it's set in the 1960s, and it follows a cowboy, I guess you could say. He's kind of like a ranch hand Is that also technically a cowboy? I don't know. Actually, the beginning of it is very much so like Brokeback Mountain. I haven't even seen that whole entire movie, but I have seen the beginning, and it's kind of just like, oh, here's a cowboy. He's being offered a job. It's a very secluded job in the wilderness. He's supposed to be taking care of animals. Like, the both of them definitely start the same. But yes, the main character, his name is Dennis. He's a cowboy. He's taking this job up in the mountains where he's supposed to be watching a herd of sheep, a flock of sheep. And when the man who's hiring him is kind of going over the rules and stuff, there's really only one rule, which is do not trust anything other than the sheep. Sounds simple enough, right? So he's taking his job for the summer. It's going to be boring, but you know, he's just going to be up there in the mountains all alone by himself, right? Don't trust anything other than sheep. Great. So I think maybe like a month passes while he's doing his job in the quiet like that. And one day at night, he hears this rustle. And so he gets up, he grabs his rifle, and he's looking around to see like, what was this sound? And he finds another man. And he's like, who are you? Like, what are you doing here? And the man's like, oh, like, my bad. My name's Todd. I'm just a hunter. I was just passing by. I saw your fire. I just wondered who was down here. Like, my bad. And so Dennis is like, okay. And he starts seeing Todd. Like, if he'll be like up on his horse, he'll like throw a hand up if he sees Todd kind of like wandering around in the forest. And they start chatting more and more with each other. And Dennis wants to get closer. He sure does. And I feel like that's really all I should say, because again, it's only 9 chapters. This is a very like eerie, kind of scary almost story. There's this one panel of Todd, and it is like genuinely unsettling to me to look at. I feel like for the past 2 years on my channel, every October, I talk about how much I love corruption and stories of corruption. So you know I love this. And also I will say, as I've also said before, most short manhwas are just kind of like explicit scenes and nothing else, no plot. But this one, the atmosphere is so good. The eeriness is so good. Like the tension of like what is even going on is so good. And also the explicit scenes themselves are done really well. Like I think this might be the best short story as far as manhwas go that I have read. I think the only complaints I have, I would say number 1, this isn't really a complaint, just kind of like something I noticed. The art close up is so beautiful. The artist must love drawing faces, but like from far away, like I don't know, there would just be scenes sometimes where like, their bodies looked a little weird. And I feel like it just kind of like took away from the eeriness of the story a little bit, because I was like, they look kind of silly right here. And then my other complaint, and again, it's not really a complaint, but it's just like, I actually wish the ending of the story was more mysterious. Like I almost wish it was a little bit more open-ended, but I don't know, that's just me. I grew up really loving things that have ambiguous endings because I read this one Goosebumps book when I was a child. I think it's called Ghost Beach. And the way the ending is just like, oh my gosh, like the plot twist is at the very end, and like, you don't get to see like a reaction of that basically. I love stuff like that, or like Inception or Shutter Island, where it's just like at the end you're like, wait, so like what is it? Are they still in the dream? Are they gonna give him the lobotomy? You know, that kind of stuff. Or like the short stories you have to read for school, like The Landlady by Roald Dahl, like stuff like that. So that's a me problem. But anyway, I do think this is required Halloween reading at this point. If you are planning on reading The Fallen Lamb during October, do it. If you're planning on reading The Fallen Lamb not in October, do it. Any time of year, I just feel like you should read the story. The last spread that I'm making in today's video is for the BL manga, The Ghost of Love. This has been on my TBR for so long because it was being translated, and it was being translated so well. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if the scan team just stopped, but the last 2 chapters were never posted. I don't know if they're still working on them and they just got like very, very, very delayed. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I found out that someone else took over and finished up the story. So I was like, great, fantastic, because I want to figure out what else happened. This manga is so cute. This mangaka in general, I really like her work, and I don't know if I'm ever going to read any of it because I don't think anything that she has written is fully like translated by anyone, or it's like if it is fully translated, the translations aren't good. Like it's such a tragedy because I love her art style. This manga is about Tuma and Seiya. They're high school students, and one day Seiya is like, so the guy that sits next to me, Tuma, he is being haunted. I see a ghost following him around everywhere. And he's like, I've got to tell Tuma that he's being haunted. And it's not even just like any regular ghost. This ghost specifically keeps telling Seiya that Tuma has a crush on him. The ghost is so funny the whole entire time. It's literally so cute and so funny the whole time. And Seiya's like, I've got to figure out how to tell Tuma about this. And so one day he works up the courage to tell him, he's like, you know, I might sound crazy, but there's this ghost following you. And Tuma's like, oh, you can see it too? And he's like, what? You know about it? And he's like, yeah, I started seeing him like last week. And Seiya is like, I literally cannot let you be haunted. Like this might start affecting your health physically. Like we're going to figure out what we can do to get rid of the ghost. Like, we're gonna figure out how we can help him move on. But really, is it even a haunting? Because all the ghost seems to want is for Tuma and Seiya to be together, to spend time with each other, to touch. Like, that's pretty much it. And Seiya is so confused because he's like, I don't even really know my classmate Tuma that well at all. And Tuma insists he does not have a crush on Seiya. But then as you spend more time with the two characters, you realize something is not right here. Something is amiss. Tuma and Seiya maybe have a little bit more history together than Seiya realizes. And that's what this manga is about. It is literally so cute. Like, that's why I was so excited to read it. I just love the ghost so much. It is so expressive, and it can like pick up things sometimes. Like, one time it draws their names in like the dirt together. It is literally so cute. It's the cutest character. And I just love a wholesome high school story. Like, I really do. And the art. The art is so beautiful. This mangaka is so talented. She has this other manga, and it's about these two coworkers, and this one seems like he's very like kind of goody two-shoes, like very nice and friendly, and the other one seems like very cold, but it's actually just because like he's really anxious, but he kind of just like comes off really distant like that because he's trying to be cool. And actually the other guy who's so friendly might be like kind of the nasty rude one. I would love to read that. I think someone is working on it, but then someone else started working on it, and like their translations are not nearly as good. And then the author has another story too. I can't think what it's called, but I have it open in a tab right now. But I think only maybe the first volume has been translated and not the second volume. I'm so sad. Like, all of her work is like on the top of my list of things that I want to be translated officially in English. I would say the art, it almost kind of has a like manhwa vibe to it. It definitely has more of a, I don't know if clean is the word, but you know what I mean? Like, when you see like a webcomic, the lines are more like clean and crisp as compared to manga a lot of the times. And like, I don't think that's a good or a bad thing, because like I feel like the charm of reading a manga sometimes is the fact that it has sort of a hand-drawn feel to it, even though I'm so sure most artists are not drawing anything by hand anymore. Actually, I think one of my favorite Korean artists, Bad Pharmacy, I think she might still draw her manhwas by hand, which is crazy. She's so talented. But anyway, the story is so cute. It's probably the manga I recommend the most out of everything I've talked about in today's video. And now that I'm finished with all the spreads, we can go put them into my digital journals. I hope today's video doesn't seem too short. I just really wanted to squeeze in one last video before my next video, which will be sooner than you think. We are at the end of September. Can you believe it? It's still so hot, so it definitely does not feel like fall, but I'm so excited for October. Since it's October, you know what that means, right? Maybe a little something called journalween. I'm just so excited to get into all of my October reads. I don't really have like a lot of things on my TBR, but I'm just excited for what's actually on it. Like, I hope everything is good, because I'd be a little bit disappointed if not. I hope I have enough stuff on my TBR. I feel like I only have maybe like 5 things. That's not that many. But also, I'm planning on starting this book series. I heard about it not too long ago because I did not even hear about it. I saw a picture of the books on Pinterest, and randomly my best friend picked up the first book and she really liked it. So I kind of want to listen to the audiobooks of those as well. They're like these cozy mysteries, and they're like all seasonal, and it's about this like village town of these little animal critters, and I think that it's like a murder mystery. She told me she's never read a book series before. I was like, oh, but I mean, we've known each other for almost our whole entire lives. So like, yeah, I would say I don't think I've ever seen her read a book series before. So I'm glad she's liking it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. Everything I used in today's spreads will be in my Pinterest board, and the link to my Pinterest board is in the description box, along with the links to all of my other social media accounts, as well as the links to the Google Drive folders for all of my journal deco kits. If you have any questions, please let me know and I will do my best to answer them. I hope that you are ending your September well, and I hope that you are also excited for October, unless you hate Halloween, in which case, okay. And like I said, I will see you very soon. Wink, wink. I don't know why I said that, but I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.